If I could sit across from my younger self, the version of me in my 20s who was anxious, insecure, overwhelmed, trying to look strong on the outside but falling apart inside, I would tell him 5 things. 5 life lessons that would have saved me years of pain, confusion, and self-destruction. That's what I want to give you today. Because the truth is, I didn't know these lessons until much later. But once I learned them, everything in my life changed. My confidence, my mental health, my relationships, my purpose, my sense of self, everything. So listen closely. Not because I'm wiser or better than you, but because I've lived the consequences of not knowing these things. And I don't want you to pay the same price. Let's begin. Lesson number 1. Your anxiety is not a flaw. It's a signal. In my 20s, I thought anxiety meant something was wrong with me. I thought it meant I was weak, broken, or not built for life the way other people were. Everyone around me looked confident. They looked calm. They looked like they knew what they were doing. Meanwhile, my nervous system was in constant survival mode. I didn't understand that anxiety is simply a message from your body that something inside needs attention. It's not a character defect. It's not a failure. It's not a disorder you should be ashamed of. It's your body saying, I don't feel safe yet. Help me calm down. If I knew that in my 20s, I would have treated myself with so much more compassion. I would have learned breath work earlier. I would have learned grounding earlier. I would have learned emotional regulation earlier. Instead, I tried to numb the signal and ended up with addictions that nearly ruined my life. Which brings me to lesson number 2. Escaping pain always creates more pain. I didn't know that then. In my 20s, if something hurt, I ran from it. If something scared me, I avoided it. If something made me uncomfortable, I numbed it. I didn't understand the truth. What you avoid controls you. What you run from chases you. What you numb eventually destroys you. I wish I knew that every time I reached for a drink or a substance, I was training my brain to believe that I couldn't handle life without escape. I was teaching myself that I was too fragile to feel, too weak to face reality, and that belief follows you into adulthood like a shadow. The pain you avoid becomes the addiction you create. The emotion you suppress becomes the anxiety that grows. The truth you hide from becomes the identity you lose. In my 20s, I didn't understand that healing is not about avoiding pain. It's about moving through it intentionally. If I had known that, I would have saved myself years of suffering. Lesson number 3. Your identity is your destiny. This one hits hard because I didn't understand it until much later in life. The way you see yourself becomes the life you live. In my 20s, I had no idea who I was. I didn't know my values. I didn't know my strengths. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know what I deserved. So I drifted. I settled. I self-sabotaged. I accepted relationships that damaged me. I accepted jobs that drained me. I accepted behaviors that destroyed me. Because my identity was built on fear, insecurity, and survival. If you believe you're broken, your choices will reflect it. If you believe you're not enough, your relationships will reflect it. If you believe you're destined to struggle, your life will reflect it. I wish I knew earlier that your identity is not found. It's built. Built through decisions, built through boundaries, built through uncomfortable honesty, built through choosing who you want to become instead of repeating who you've been. The moment I changed my identity, my life changed with it. Lesson number 4. Your peace is more valuable than other people's approval. In my 20s, I desperately tried to please everyone. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be seen as strong, funny, successful, easygoing. Even when I was breaking internally, I sacrificed my peace to earn validation. I said yes when I wanted to say no. I stayed quiet when I wanted to speak up. I tolerated people who drained me because I didn't want conflict. I didn't know that every time you betray yourself to fit in, you destroy trust with the one person you have to live with forever, you. I wish I knew that peace is power. Peace is clarity. Peace is success. Peace is health. Peace is the foundation of every good decision you will ever make. If I learned that earlier, I would have walked away sooner. I would have chosen differently. I would have protected my energy the way I protect my life now. Lesson number 5. Healing is your responsibility, but not your fault. I grew up thinking healing meant fixing myself. That shame was part of the process. That blame was part of the journey. That suffering was the price of growth. I didn't understand that none of this was my fault. The anxiety, the fear, the survival patterns, the addictions, the coping mechanisms, the emotional chaos. These were automatic responses to experiences I never asked for. But even though the pain wasn't my fault, the healing was still my responsibility. Not because I deserved punishment, but because I deserved freedom. No one was coming to save me. No one could regulate my nervous system for me. No one could rewrite my identity for me. No one could break my patterns for me. Healing began the moment I realized that even though my past shaped me, it didn't have to define me. I had the power to change my story. I had the power to create a different future. And so do you. These 5 lessons changed everything for me. They turned fear into awareness. They turned chaos into clarity. They turned addiction into recovery. They turned anxiety into understanding. They turned survival into transformation. If you're in your 20s, or your 30s, or your 40s, and you feel lost, anxious, overwhelmed, numb, or stuck, listen carefully. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You don't need the perfect moment. You need awareness. You need compassion. You need courage. And you need the truth. Your life can change in one decision, one boundary, one realization, one moment of saying, I deserve better than this. If I could give my younger self one final message, it would be this. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are becoming. And if you're ready to start healing now, not 30 years from now, I'm here to help you. Download my free workbook on freefromaddiction.net. It's where I put the tools I wish someone had given me when I was young and scared and trying to survive the only way I knew how. You are not alone. You are not hopeless. You are not lost. You are a warrior in progress. And this, right now, is the moment everything begins to change.